Hi, it's Royce here, and I want to welcome all you vinyl lovers. This show is for people that love music, and in particular, music that was made on vinyl records. The featured artist tonight is going to be Van Halen, the band Van Halen. Okay, we've got 4 albums to unbox, 4 Van Halen albums, and I want to remind everybody this is show number 12. We have 11 other great shows out there. We've got the Rolling Stones, we've got the Beatles, we unboxed the White Album, we unboxed original Parlophone pressings of the Beatles. We've got Rod Stewart, we've got musical divas, we've got Jimi Hendrix, we've got the Beach Boys. We've got a bunch of great shows available all the time on our YouTube channel, Royce in the House, and the playlist Vinyl Album Unboxing. We've got a couple of other exciting things coming up. We're going to be doing a vinyl album shorts where I'll be just taking, 5 to 8 minutes and unboxing individual albums, individual classic albums. Most of them have been finales of other shows or albums I've been saving that I haven't showed yet. So we will have some vinyl album shorts, and I promise you, we are going to have a podcast. I want all my friends to be able to come on the show and enjoy a podcast and have fun interacting with one another. So we're going to kick this show off with a little story about Van Halen. The Van Halen brothers, who started the band Van Halen, actually lived in Amsterdam, and they moved to the Netherlands. Well, both parents were musicians. And unfortunately, sadly, in the Netherlands, they weren't treated real well. They were treated poorly from what I read because it was a mixed-race family. Okay, so eventually they migrated to the United States, to Pasadena, I think it was, and neither one of them spoke English. Nobody in the family spoke English. And so they had a lot of catching up to do, And they were both they were taking piano lessons. They were both great piano players. And in fact, Eddie won several awards for being a piano player. So eventually their parents wanted them both to be concert pianists. But, with the British invasion and the Beatles and the Dave Clark Five was mentioned as one of their influences, they wanted to play rock and roll. So they got together in 1972, Eddie and Alex, and started forming a band. Eddie was going to play the drums, and his brother Alex was going to play the guitar. Well, this is kind of a funny story because I unboxed Beach Boys and other surf music recently and told a story about the band The Safaris and their famous song, Wipeout, and how in junior high school, myself included, every boy in junior high school was trying to play Wipeout on his desk with his hands. You might walk in if the teacher wasn't there, 6 or 7 people were playing Wipeout at the same time. It was the biggest drum solo ever. Everybody wanted to play Wipeout. Well, Eddie, who wanted to be the drummer in the band, heard his brother Alex, who was going to be the guitar player, playing Wipeout on the drum set. Eddie goes, "Oh my God, that's it." Eddie gave Alex the drum set and said, "I'll learn to play the guitar." Okay, so that's how they kind of got started. Then they hired Michael Anthony and they hired David Lee Roth, one of the greatest front men of all time. Fantastic guy, seemed like he could leap 10 feet in the air, just a great front man. And anyway, so 1972, the band was formed. By I believe it was 77, Gene Simmons from Kiss saw the band performing in a club and was so impressed, he paid for some of their early recordings, okay? Well, by 1978, they were off and running. They'd produced their first album, and we're going to show that album right now. This is the first album they made, Van Halen, and it's got really some of their absolute best songs on it. This is a pretty well-worn copy. The vinyl's still in great condition. Okay, so we'll get right to it. Let's go ahead and unbox this. We're going to pull the album out. And most of their stuff, or all the early stuff, was produced by Ted Templeton, famous music producer. Okay, so here we go. This is Warner Brothers, produced by Ted Templeton, okay? And I'm going to show the vinyl. It's really in good condition. I actually didn't clean it before the show. it would look even better. But it's a great condition. It plays beautifully. So let's go ahead. Such big hits on this, you know. Okay, we'll start on side one. I'll read the music off. We've got "Running with the Devil." What a huge song, "Running with the Devil." I absolutely love that song. It's fantastic. "Eruption." Song number 2 is "Eruption." Okay. Song number 3. I mean, these are fantastic. Song number 3 is "You Really Got Me." You really got me now. It's just a great song. Song number 4, "Ain't Talking About Love." And song number 5, "I'm the One." Okay, that's side 1. Just "Running with the Devil." You really got me now. Just amazing, absolutely amazing. Okay, we'll go to side 2. Keep moving, keep the show moving here. "Jamie's Crying." Whoa, 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 Jamie's crying. "Atomic Punk," song number 2. Okay, song number 3, "Feel Your Love Tonight." Number 4, "Little Dreamer." Number 5, I love this song, "Ice Cream Man." This could get stuck in my head, hearing David Lee Roth sing "Ice Cream Man." And then number 6, "On Fire." This is probably my favorite Van Halen album, and it was their first. I mean, it's just great. And I really got a kick out of finding out that Gene Simmons produced their earliest recordings after discovering them in a club playing, excuse me. So anyway, we're going to put this away, put it away before something happens to it. These albums, they're original pressings, vintage albums, and they're hard to replace if they get messed up. So let's just slip this back into the cover. As I said, we'll have many shows coming up. We put these shows on every Saturday evening at 7 p.m. We do the vinyl unboxing show. And like I said, this is show number 12. They're all available on the YouTube channel, Royce in the House, the playlist Vinyl Album Unboxing. Okay, so let's look at the next one. That was 1978. Now we're going to look at 1982 album. We've got four to unbox. There's many more. We could easily have a second and a third Van Halen show, and we may, along with many of the other bands as well. But this is called "Diver Down." And this was 1982 is when this album came out. Okay, "Diver Down." Let's take a look at the back. List all the songs right here. List of the songs. Pictures of the guys in concert. Big stage there. Okay, so "Diver Down." Van Halen, "Diver Down." Okay, so let's take a look at the songs. Get the album out. Take a look at the vinyl first. This is great. I love this. I love the sleeve on this one. Look at the sleeve. And David Lee Roth, Eddie, you see Alex, you see Michael Anthony, the bass player. This is great. Great pictures on this sleeve. And of course, this is a great picture. You got them all right here. Eddie, David Lee Roth, Eddie's brother Alex on the far right, or maybe your left, I'm not sure. Michael Anthony, the bass player. This was a great group. They were a lot of fun. They're very, very entertaining. Okay, let's get the album out. Keep the show moving here. Once again, Warner Brothers, and also, once again, produced by Ted Templeton. Okay, and all right, so this is side 1. We'll have a peek at the vinyl here. A peek at the vinyl, side 1. Terrific condition, terrific album. Some of these songs, at least for me, aren't as recognizable, but having listened to them all many times, I love these songs. "Where Have All the Good Times Gone?" Side 1, song 1. That's a great song. "Where Have All the Good Times Gone?" Okay, song number 2 is "Hang 'Em High." Sounds like a old Clint Eastwood movie, "Hang 'Em High." That's a great movie. Number 3, Cathedral. Song number 4, Intruder, also a great song. And song number 5, that was Intruder, okay. And then 6, I love this song, Pretty Woman. Roy Orbison did that song, and Roy Orbison had a tremendous voice. I loved Roy Orbison. I loved his work in The Traveling Wilburys. Elvis Presley didn't like to go on behind Roy Orbison. Orbison's voice was so fantastic. Anyway, so Pretty Woman. That's a great song by Van Halen, and I believe Roy Orbison was the original singer of Pretty Woman. That's a great song. Great guitar song, too. Tried to learn it once. Might have learned part of it once, but didn't get that far. Okay, so side 2, we have Dancing in the Streets. I love that song, too. It's a great Van Halen song, Dancing in the Streets. Then we have Little Guitars. Okay, that's song number 2. 3 is, song number 2, I'm sorry, Little Guitars. Oh, yeah, I was right. And song number 3 is also Little Guitars, okay? Song number 4, Big Bad Bill. Big Bad Bill, that's cool. Song number 5, The Full Bug. And song number 6, Happy Trails, Happy Trails to you. Sounds like an old Gene Autry, song. Anyway, so I'm gonna put Diver Down Away. Great album, highly recommended. Love that song, Pretty Woman. That's fantastic. Okay, so that's Diver Down, Van Halen. Okay, the next one we're going to show, I'm going to have to get my knife out because this hasn't been opened. Okay. All right. We'll get the little pocket knife out, open this bad boy up, and you will see what my third offering is here. And this one is 1984. 1984. Okay, now we can show it. 1984. Van Halen. I love this little kind of devil-looking angel here with the cigarette pack at the bottom. 2 cigarette packs, actually. Anyway, this is 1984. Look at that. Look at that. Well, it's got angel wings, but when you look at that face and you look at the cigarettes, it's kind of a real contrast. That's what makes it so funny, actually. This is great. This is a great album, And we're going to turn it around. All the guys are here: David Lee Roth, Eddie Van Halen, Michael Anthony, bass player, and Alex Van Halen, the drummer. Okay, so they're all here. 1984. Like I said, I absolutely love this cover. This cover is great. And this is going to be the last album that, David Lee Roth played with the band. There was a lot of artistic differences. David Lee Roth had already came out with his own first solo album. He was thinking about getting into acting. There was conflicts over, who was in charge of the band. Of course, the brothers started it. They were in charge, and they had David Lee Roth under contract. But anyway, everything came to a head at the end of this album, and David Lee Roth left the band, okay? So they had to go find a new singer. But let's go back to this 1984 album first. Let's pull the vinyl out, and one side of the vinyl. I love that it's a nice thick cardboard cover. It really makes a difference. The paper ones just go so bad so quickly. Okay, and then we've got on this side, it almost looks like a jigsaw puzzle or something. Got the gang up here, boys are all represented on the back side. And let's see what we've got here. Got Alex Van Halen, drums, percussion, and background vocals. David Lee Roth, vocals. Edward Van Halen, guitar, keyboards. As I mentioned earlier, he was a fantastic keyboard player. His mother wanted both of them to be concert pianists. They took lessons at a highly reputable place to take piano lessons. The sleeves can be really cool too, but the vinyl is totally badass. And this is Warner Records. Warner Records. Let's see. Let me turn this side one around. Get up close and personal here. Van Halen, 1984. At the top it says Warner Records. Okay. And I mean, again, this is brand spanking new. I just cut the cellophane to get it out. And we'll go ahead and read the songs. This is kind of one of my favorites, and it's got a lot of really, really good songs on it. I mean, just fantastic stuff. Song number one on side one is 1984. Name of the album. And the next one is great. If anybody could jump, the next name of the next song is Jump. David Lee Roth could jump. Oh my God. That guy could really leap in the air. I mean, I never seen anything like it. He's like Air Jordan, you know. Song number three is Panama. The next one is Top Jimmy. That's a great song. All of these songs are great. I love this album. Then we have Drop Dead Legs. Song 5 on side 1. Okay, side 2. We've got Hot for Teacher. What a great song. Hot for Teacher. I love that song. I'll Wait. Number 3, Girl Gone Bad. And number 4, House of Pain. I mean, I really love this album. This is a wonderful album. 1984. Okay. Let's put it back in its really nice cardboard sleeve. And we'll put it back in its nice devilish angel cover. Little character. Look at those eyes. You know he's up to no good. The 2 cigarette packs there. And it also says Van Halen 10 times platinum smash as you've never heard of before. This album 84 was 10 times platinum. I don't know if Led Zeppelin had a 10 times platinum. Maybe they did. Okay, so 180 grain vinyl, lacquer cuts by Chris Bellman and Bernie Grundman mastering. Okay, so that's great. I love this one. 1984. Okay, we're getting down to the last Van Halen album. But before we go there, we've got to get caught up here on our information. That was David Lee Roth's last album with Eddie Van Halen and the Van Halen Band. Like I said, before he left, he'd already done a solo project. He was interested in doing movies. And there was just too many, artistic differences and what have you. And they were just fighting too much. So he said, I'm gone, okay? And he left, and Sammy Hagar, the Red Rocker, joined the band. Now, I loved Sammy Hagar, and I liked him before he was ever in Van Halen. And he's just like a down-to-earth, one of the guys, somebody you feel like you could drink a couple of beers with or something. He's a cool guy. And since he's left, I've watched some of his concerts on TV. They call him the Red Rocker, and everything's in red. And he's kind of a real on the beach, palm trees, vacation kind of guy, Kind of reminds me of Jimmy Buffett type stuff, right? I mean, that kind of same theme to his style. And so I watched a lot of Sammy Hagar stuff after he left Van Halen. And I always really enjoyed Sammy. Now, there was always a lot of comparisons, and it's hard to top the original front man, especially someone that had, the aerobatics and stuff of David Lee Roth. He had a great voice. Sammy's voice couldn't have been more different, And but I liked them both. And this next album featured Sammy Hagar, who eventually, left himself. But Sammy Hagar left the band several years later. They made a lot of albums together. One of my favorite, and the songs from this one played continuously on MTV videos back when we used to have MTV videos. I don't know why they got rid of them. They don't have anything good on MTV now. But it was For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. F-U-C-K, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, was one of the big bands with Pound Cake and a whole bunch of songs I really liked on it. that Sammy Hagar was lead singer on. Some of those songs on Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, Eddie Van Halen started out with actually an electric drill in his hand. It was going up and down the guitar strings, and the drill noises were coming through. It was pretty unique. And speaking of unique, Eddie Van Halen popularized the tapping on the guitar, and even the two-handed tapping. And he really kind of revolutionized guitar playing for an entire generation of guitar players that followed. I mean, he really changed the game. Years ago, I found a Gibson Les Paul Custom with the gold hardware in 1978 in the paper. It was like a miracle. So I drove out to Orchid to take a look at this guitar. The guy was asking $550 for it. 1978 Gibson Les Paul Custom, rare 3 pickup, And so I got out there, and I didn't even know what I had here, So I'm haggling. I'm trying to buy it for $450. He's asking $550. I mean, I later sold it for thousands on eBay, actually during the recession. And I still wish I had it today. I'll probably never get to replace that one. But anyway, so finally at I think it was 1:30 in the morning, the guy left to talk, and he was talking about guitar playing. He's telling me, Hendrix was easy. I could play Hendrix easy. He goes, but what really screwed it all up for me was Eddie Van Halen. I couldn't play Eddie Van Halen. I just kind of gave up at that point. Crazy story. Anyway, I bought that guitar. He wanted $550. I was trying to buy this guitar worth thousands of dollars for $450. I wound up buying it for $500. I had it for 20 years. And I really, really miss it too. Anyway, so enough of that. Betty and I, let's see, what year was it? I think I might have wrote it down. Some of this stuff gets hard. 2013. 2013, David Lee Roth reunited with the band, and they went on tour. And they came to the Paso Robles Fairgrounds, where we've seen so many great bands. And Betty and I, our youngest daughter, Nicole, and her husband, Clay Akey, and Clay's friend, Colin, and his girlfriend, we all had tickets. We had great seats. We got to see, hey, David Lee Roth wasn't getting the big air he used to get, and his voice wasn't as strong, but it didn't make any difference at all. It was just a fantastic concert, seeing the original lineup. I'd never got a chance to see them, so I was so grateful that they reunited and went back on tour, and I got my second chance. So we saw the concert. It was fantastic. It was singing the songs. Everybody was singing the songs. It was just great. But I think the best part of the whole show was the band walked off stage. And of course, we're all standing up hoping for an encore. Eddie Van Halen walks back out with a chair, sets the chair down in front of a microphone, lowers the mic down, sits down, and Eddie solos for like 30 minutes, after the band had left. Eddie solos for 30 minutes. And I just can't tell you how I felt watching that. I mean, being someone that tried his whole life to play the guitar and pretty much failed miserably, sitting there watching one of my guitar heroes, one of the greatest of all time, innovator, solo for 30 minutes on stage after the concert had basically ended. It was just a fantastic experience. Okay, so we're going to pull out the next album, our final offering. 1986, this album came out, and we had Sammy Hagar, 1986, with Sammy Hagar. Okay, and here's a picture on the back. Hagar looks pretty young here in '86, with the curly blonde hair. This is really cool. When you look at what's going on with this album, you got this. It looks like this this big globe, or holding the weight of the world on his shoulders, whatever it's supposed to be symbolizing. Finally crushes him. He's laying on the ground. And this thing is coming apart now. This is really cool looking. This is a great cover. Okay, we're going to pull it out now. I'm going to waste any time. Get the vinyl out. Okay, take that plastic off. One more little look, a little clearer with the plastic off. That's just great. Okay, 5150. Incidentally, it was actually shortly after Eddie built his 5150 studio at his home that David Lee Roth left. And I remember being a guitar aficionado and half-ass player. I remember when Eddie came out with the 5150 album. 5150 amplifiers. Okay, this is 5150 album. He came out with a line of amplifiers, 5150, and they were pretty popular. You know, I'd A-B them with the Marshalls and the Fenders and stuff, and I like the Marshalls and Fenders better, but they were good. They had a good tone to them. So anyway, I forgot to introduce my assistant here. On my bed, on my desk, in her bed, is my assistant, Monroe. Monroe would rather spend time on my desk in her little bed than do anything else. She's up here almost every minute I'm in my office. She's in here whining to get on her bed. There's nights that she slept in here on top of my desk in her bed. Say hi, Moe. This is Moe, Monroe, Momo, our little 4-pound Yorkie. And we have her and her brother and some other dogs. She's sweet, but she loves being in here. So I thought I'd better introduce her. She's part of the show. She's part of everything, actually. Okay, enough of Monroe. Okay, so let's pull out the vinyl. Again, nice thick cover. I like these thick covers. They just, well, they hold up, but nothing's perfect. Okay, then on the back we've got, you know, Van Halen is Michael Anthony, Sammy Hagar, Alex Van Halen, and Edward Van Halen, you know, and then it lists all the songs, has all the lyrics to all the songs, okay? Maybe we'll read the names of the songs off the album sleeve this time. Okay, we've got, okay, now this one is produced by Van Halen, not Ted Templeton, so things changed a little bit here. Okay, produced by Van Halen, Mick Jones, and Don Landy, engineered by Don Landy. Then it goes on to list, you know, art directors, agencies, recordings, etc., etc. Okay, song number 1, Best of Both Worlds. Okay, then we have Dreams. Again, all the lyrics. Why Can't This Be Love? That was a really good song. I like that song a lot. I like all of them, actually. Love Walks In. 5150, the name of his studio, the name of his line of amplifiers that he brought out, early 90s. Next song, Inside. Then we've got Good Enough, Summer Nights, and Get Up. Okay, all right. Cool sleeve, very cool cover. Hercules being crushed by the Eddie Van Halen ball. Okay, so again, typical Warner Brothers, but this time, once again, no Ted Templeton. Okay, Eddie had his own studio and stuff now, and things were changing. Okay, so here we go, produced by Van Halen. And this was 86 with Sammy Hagar. And I liked a lot of Sammy Hagar stuff. I love David Lee Roth stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to make the comparison, but it's hard not to, you know. When David Lee Roth was there, I thought nobody could ever top him. When Sammy Hagar was there, I liked it just as well, and I bought the music. I can't say he was better. I would never say he was better. I think the fans have spoken on that. So anyway, so that's our vinyl unboxing. I've got my Van Halen shirt on. This is actually an Eddie Van Halen shirt, and it says thanks for the memories. You know, Eddie Van Halen died in 2020. I believe it was complications from throat cancer, and really sad to see him go. He was born in '55. He was only 2 years younger than I am. But anyway, it was really sad to see him go, and really heartbreaking. Actually, it seemed like he was, you know, way before his time, like so many of these great artists. I mean, the Doors and Hendrix and, you know, Janis Joplin. I mean, the list goes on to eternity. I mean, there's so many. I think I'm going to do a vinyl unboxing called Gone Too Soon or Gone Before Their Time, because we've lost so many fantastic artists, you know, in their early 20s, you know, early 20s, early 30s. And even Eddie was, you know, I think 62. But that's way too soon, you know. 62 is, hey, I'm 60 something, and but like 60 is like the new 40. I'm telling you right now. I still climb up and down 2-story ladders all day doing construction work, go surfing. You know, like I said, I don't remember people the age I am now when I was younger doing any of that stuff. I mean, they were waiting to, you know, waiting to go to the old folks home or something. I can't even imagine. But anyway, once again, this is show number 12. We have 11 other shows always available on our YouTube channel. If you like this, please hit the thumbs up. It really helps the show. Hit the thumbs up. But what I'd really like for you to do is, you know, make some comments in the chat. Tell us what you know about Van Halen. I'm sure there's thousands of things I didn't, you know, thousands of things that I could have brought up that I didn't. But I'd like to hear what you know about Van Halen, what your favorite song was. So there's a live chat while the show's going, but there's also a comments place where you can just go leave a comment. So, you know, don't be afraid to participate. Leave a comment. If you're live, join the live chat. Let's have fun. I'm here to try to entertain, you know, the best I can. It remains to be seen if I am entertaining, but I'm trying to entertain. I'm trying to teach people what I know about the various artists. And once again, we'll have a podcast eventually. I've got to find the time to finish putting that together. And also, I will be doing some vinyl unboxing shorts, where instead of spending 30 minutes, 40 minutes like I have been doing, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Just you know, a Beatles White Album, Parlophone. You know, a lot of the shorts would actually be the finales of some of the shows I've already done. But I've got a whole bunch of albums where I'll probably never have 4 and 6 from that artist. So it'd be nice just to unbox a single album and make a little fun show about that. Not everybody wants to spend the kind of time we've been spending here. Some people might want to watch a short one and then maybe go right to another short one if they liked it and come back later and watch some more. Anyway, thank you for joining us. You're very, very appreciated. This show is for vinyl lovers. We can all learn together about the artists that we all love. And we're all music lovers here. And that's what it's all about. Loving the vinyl, loving the music, and having fun. And that's about all I've got to say tonight, other than thank you for joining me. I really, really appreciate it.